Leaders must be critical thinkers. If not, the group is just going to take you in the direction that they want to go. And it might be the opposite direction that you need. You'll confirm your existing beliefs, and your competition will overrun you before you even know what happened. But what does critical thinking really mean, and how do we do it effectively? This video is based off my time at the Marine Corps Command and Staff College in 2006. I had the opportunity to attend a 9-month course coming straight off of 2 deployments with an infantry battalion. And I attended this course with 200 other students from 20 different countries and all the different branches of service. The instruction over those 9 months was incredible, and the exchange of thoughts is not like anything I've ever experienced. During the course, I could feel myself literally thinking more clearly and reasoning more clearly than I'd ever had before. And I didn't notice it in the seminar as much as I did afterward, dinner or at a bar with friends talking about politics. This video is going to show you why. First lecture we had was about critical thinking, and it really set the tone for the entire course. So let's dive in. Critical thinking is made up of facts, judgment, and action. If you think about it, a lot of times we forget the facts. We start talking about things we think people want to hear, or our feelings, or things that we've done in the past. And we lose touch with what's actually happening around us. There's no data to support what we're trying to decide. I've heard the expression data-driven or trying to be more data-driven. This is what this means. What are the facts of the past? What has happened? Why did it work? Why didn't it work? What were the reasons that went into that? And what are the real facts about the situation that we find ourselves in now? So first thing is gather facts. Next, make judgments. This is when you state what you believe and why. It should be logical. Always be aware of bias. You can't do enough reading or study on bias. We're all susceptible to it. What is a bias? A bias is simply a preference on something. But the reason you want to be aware and avoid these biases is because when you're thinking critically, you're trying to decide what the logical action is. And there's a ton of examples for bias, but one of them is called similarity bias, where we favor people that are like us. So if you work with engineers, prefer working with other engineers. And not necessarily on technical tasks, for just about anything, which if you're trying to put an engineer in something that an accountant should do, you can see the problem. Part of making judgments is evaluating arguments, for which you should be silent and inquisitive. You should ask a lot of questions and really try not to think of what you want to say next, but listen to what people are saying to fully understand. The objective is understanding. And then when it comes time to act, be bold. State what you believe and why you believe that's the right thing to do, and go for it. And while that might seem a little aggressive, if you've done all your analytics and you put a lot of rigor into the facts and making judgments, that's as good as you can do. Another way of thinking of that whole process is listen to what you believe and look at the facts, or what the facts are telling you. Compare your feelings to what is concrete. About taking action. Critical thinking leaders, the reason we do this is because we have some sort of goal to achieve. Probably not paid to sit and contemplate on things and just for their own sake. We got to do something with the information that we've analyzed. We have to have an effect on the world, on our people, and on the goals of the organization. A reminder on an argument. An argument is based on a proposition and a basis for somebody to believe your proposition, evidence. And we all overuse the word argue. Probably most times it's just showing emotion. But to really make an argument, you're going to make a proposition and you're going to back it up with facts. So right there in those last couple of points, if you're going to make a proclamation, or you're going to make a statement, or you're going to formulate a plan of action for people, you got to have facts to justify it. Real points. Think of this as recognizing your assumptions and taking action on them to validate them or to replace them with real things that have happened, the facts or the data that support the situation. It's not charging into a situation, making a hasty decision. Sometimes there's a time for that when there's no time available, but part of being a leader is realizing how to use the time that you do have to make decisions. And while your goal is to make decisions in your organization faster than your competition, that's not the same as making a hasty decision. Hasty decisions make people nervous. Here are some obstacles to critical thinking that you want to watch out for. Testimonial evidence. This one is my favorite. This is because I've experienced something, or if I did something a certain way, then that's the right way to attack the situation that we're in right now, because I experienced it. But you have to remember that your recollection of the past is not an objective analysis that can be used for the situation at hand. The situation at hand is probably a little different anyway, but the other part, the psychological aspect of it, is the way we remember things is through the peak experience or the end of it. It's not a comprehensive analysis of the entire period of time. So you might think back to a project that you worked on that went real well, and what you're going to say is you're going to summarize that whole maybe year or 2 years or even more into a couple wave tops and use those wave tops as your testimonial evidence to solve the problem at hand. It's not critical thinking. And two other reasons that you can't do it that way is because there was probably countless different dynamics that you were not aware of in the situation that you're referencing. And the other thing is you may have just lucked out. You may have gotten lucky with the result that you had. Prejudice, prejudging something. We all have beliefs. The beliefs are in the subconscious. They drive a lot of what you do and feel and say throughout the day without you realizing it. Few of us would describe ourselves as prejudice, but remember, those beliefs are driving your subconscious. Unless you stop and think about what you're doing, you're not going to be thinking critically. Stress, a boss that is pressuring you to put something into action, finish a project. We think we're out of time. We think we're going to make the boss mad. We think we're going to lose the respect of other people around us. We feel the stress of that. We rush through, and then we make decisions based on feelings instead of the facts around us. Jargon, this is a really good one. If you're in your industry, there's probably certain terminology that's used. And what happens is when you overuse that terminology, or what I used to call 50-cent words, you're excluding people from participating in the process of solving problems. We do it as a defense mechanism to prop ourselves up, make ourselves feel or sound smart. But what we're really doing is preventing the whole power, the whole capability of the team from helping solve the problem and think through it. Collective thinking and bias, there's a ton of biases out there. Another one is confirmation bias, which is where we forego the objective analysis of the situation and we selectively use information to confirm what we already believe. There's a ton of them out there, but unless you stop and base your judgments on the facts, you could slip into it. Ad hominem fallacy. This is when we attack the person. So instead of the substance of the argument that we're trying to listen to or formulate ourselves, we're thinking about why the person is not equipped maybe to make the argument themselves. Maybe we don't like them, we're jealous of them, those kind of things. Oh, he didn't go to a big school, or she didn't go to college, things like that. The word ad hominem means to the man or to the person. And we're falling into this trap when we're focused on the person talking instead of listening to what they're actually saying. Ad populum, you've fell into this, as have I. In fact, we do it probably every day. Everybody's doing it, so it's okay. This is also referred to getting on the bandwagon. You probably have said that to people. Why don't you get on the bandwagon and let's make this happen? Something must be true because everybody's doing it, or it's right because everybody's doing it. And if you reflect on how you go through your days, we are mimicking a lot of what we see in the workplace or with the people around us, which is a form of that. Just make sure you don't take it too far. Make sure you're actually listening to the facts of the situation at hand. Command reinforcement. This is when you have a culture that values people just doing what you're told instead of questioning and suggesting better ways to do things. There are some things that just need to be done. I mean, you want people to adhere to policies in your organization. Quality might be one of them. You want people to submit their travel or do travel in a way that's in accordance with the policy. When it comes to strategic decisions or time-sensitive customer decisions, if you have too much command reinforcement, then people are just going to go with the flow. It's probably going to default to the senior person or the loudest, most influential person in the room. And again, you're not going to get the full value of the team contributing to the solution. Irrelevant appeal to authority. This is when somebody, just because of their title, says to do something, you rationalize, you say, that's okay if I do it too. And this is another one that we probably do in some form every day. You just got to make sure that you don't let that pull you in when what the organization really needs is people thinking about the situation. So there's just a few things to think about when you're talking about critical thinking, or if you want to improve your critical thinking skills. Again, my favorite out of all of them is the testimonial evidence. I've used that ever since I heard it first said in that lecture in 2006. I always question what my personal experience is really bringing to the situation in hand. And these should help you deal with tough situations, or maybe even if it's not a stressful situation, going about it in the right way. These are going to help you not only get focused on the right aspects of the problem, but they're going to allow you to involve everybody in helping make the right decision and solve the problem in the most efficient way. Hope this helped. If you like this, consider subscribing or following along. Tons of stuff like this on the channel with more to come. So follow for more leadership tips like these.